Hey, Kowalski here. Welcome back to the Candidates Tournament. Now, this is actually my first video of the candidates, and I decided to do this a really quick series where I go through the games, I mean this is very hype because this is the first game that finished, and here I mean NEPO just. What is that? Okay, it's a spoiler, but you already know it, right? But how is Nepo the next challenger for real? Because he's been awesome. I mean, I'm waiting for the Caruana game, but the situation is not looking all that good. I mean, checking out his game, that's the live position, by the way. And Caruana has a chance. I mean, I hope he wins. He's my favorite from the 8 players. But just let's see Nepomniachtchi's game. Okay, so Nepomniachtchi here is playing with the black pieces against Report, and now they go into the same Petrov that has been played a couple of times already, and here Report decides to go for the same idea that Hikaru went for, the C4 idea, not the exact move by move, but this just the general idea. And here he decides to play a sideline, playing Queen B3, very unpopular move here. Far more popular moves are maybe Rook E1 or Queen C2, putting direct pressure on the knight, but Queen B3 is fine. Like it has been played by some very strong players before, and now Bishop G4, and here you have to take the knight and you have to go Bishop G5. There's no other good square for the knight. You don't really want to go back. This this would allow E3 and Queen C3 and maybe Rook E8, and you would allow black to get some unnecessary activities. You just go to G5, and now the computer on the low depth is considering this an inaccuracy, but it's the best move basically. And now knight takes on E4, right? And here, white is up a pawn momentarily, and the thing is, there are 2 moves in this position. First move is Rook E1, just guarding the knight and being solid, and the second move is a more aggressive approach, and we all know Report, like he's gonna go for the more aggressive approach. He's having the white pieces, and Jan is having an awesome event. He's gotta stop him somehow. Queen takes on B7, right? Just attacking the rook. And the thing is, obviously you should take the knight, because here, okay, you could go maybe knight D7, but then you allow queen takes on C6, and now white is up 2 pawns, the knight is defended, and okay, you can try to harass the rook, but the queen, sorry, but the queen hangs around, and here you can take your pawn back. Queen trade is fine, but maybe just knight B to C3, even just reinforcing the queen. So that's why you have to take the knight now and give up the exchange. But it's fine. This has been played by 2 title players before, international masters in 2019, and I'm pretty sure that they knew about that game because they played very fast here. And bishop h3, obviously you have to play this move, and now you have to take the bishop. There's no alternative. If you play f3, then simply just queen e2 and you're getting mated. I mean, you can take the bishop now, but now you get checked, and after you just block here, you're just gonna get mated. So that's why g takes h3 happens in this position, right? So now queen back to g6, and king h1. So now our repetition of moves is occurring here, and here they deviate. So and that game was drawn, but this game Report decides to go for f3. He's saying, no, I have the white pieces, no repetition of moves, I want to win. Okay, now Jan, to understand like this position, you have to play the move queen d3. So queen d3 does 2 things, right? It attacks the rook, puts pressure on the pawn, and is getting the queen to a relatively safe square, because if you take on c4 here, the position is completely lost. I mean, just to give you an example, in this position knight d2 just wins, because here you don't have the move. I don't know, let's say you try, I don't even know what move to try. Let's say you try queen a6, maybe to try to trap the queen. You don't have that because just b4. And here, okay, knight d7, let's say you try that, b5, and that's very important, because okay, if you take with the queen, then obviously the a7 pawn is hanging, and if you take with the pawn, then just my queen just escapes. It's very important to understand that, because queen d3 here doesn't allow that idea. Here report goes king g2 and they repeat some moves, but now knight d2, this is considered a mistake by the computer, but again the computer is on a low depth right now, as the bar, as you can see, the bar is coming back up. This position is still fine, but this gives black a little bit of an edge here with the move queen d7, because now it doesn't matter what you do, the queen is gonna get trapped. And now knight e4, this no, it just allows the trapping of the queen, and you saw how important that was to go queen d3. And the thing is, right, the best thing to do is to take the draw here in this position, right? But Rapport didn't want that, he wanted to win. And the thing is, there's no real way to save the queen. Like another move could be rook e1, that would put a little bit of pressure on the bishop, and now you can do this, but then you allow rook takes here, and after queen takes, the queen gets out, and this is just a repetition of moves now. So in the game, NEPO or sorry, Rapport decides to go knight e4, and here, you know, Jan just traps the queen, right? The queen is up for grabs. The thing is, in coming back shortly to this variation right here, you have to play a move like bishop h4, and you know, black is still a little bit better, but maybe now you can activate the rook. But okay, coming back to the game, Rapport decides to play the position this way with bishop f4, now trying to activate, right, the bishop, maybe try to defend, but okay, queen takes on h3, you have to take the pawn, it's a free pawn after all, rook a d1, and now the material is equal, except white has two rooks for the queen, and if the two rooks can coordinate together with the pieces, you can actually you know, beat the queen. But the thing is, with this queen right here, I mean, it's very different, because the queen is really attacking and putting pressure on every single piece that white has. So now h6, but simply bishop g3 doesn't really work. Here a better try would have been a3 right now. As you can see, Rapport is gonna play a3 in the future, but this would have been a better approach to stop this type of ideas. But with bishop g3, this really allows the move knight c5, right, with no way to kick the knight out and maybe get some counterplay. And here if you just take the knight, I mean, just bishop takes, and as you can see, the pawns are just gonna start to roll here, and it's not gonna be pleasant. Okay, you try a3, now just a5, and now you're too late, right, with all of this. So after bishop g3, this is really like the first big mistake of the game, and now rook e1, and here Jan just decides to keep the pieces on the board, and okay, a3, and now he just pushes the pawn, h5, h4, pawns rolling. How is Rapport defending this position? I don't know. Rook d3, queen f5, right? Just essential, putting pressure here and x-raying the rook. Now knight c5 is gonna be pretty strong. So b4 is played, right, to stop this idea, but now just h4, and it's a very tricky move, because if you take the pawn here, you just allow the move knight f4, and this is kind of gonna happen in the game. And after a move like rook d4, for example, again, it's so tricky, because here you have to go knight g6, right, and after knight d2 you gotta take the pawn, but you know, here for example, I don't know, if you decide to go for some other variation, so here for example, after knight d2, let's say you try to stick here, this is now a draw because bishop goes back and the pieces are coordinated. So you gotta be really precise when doing this. You gotta take the bishop first, and you know, then play this killer move queen d3, just attacking everything, and now after knight f1 you just take the pawn, and now you're winning. So you know, this whole thing here, h4, Rapport decides to not take the pawn. Maybe I mean, the position is just starting to be unplayable. And now knight g5, okay, maybe not the best move according to the computer, but practically it's very nice because it puts pressure on this pawn. And rook d2 e3, here a better try would have been rook e2 e3, actually guarding the pawn, but okay, I can understand that maybe Rapport would have been scared of this variation. But the thing is, after knight takes, you don't have to take with the rook. You actually have a very nice move, knight to d6, but It's maybe not the easiest move to see, but the point is you cannot really take with the bishop, because now you just take the knight, and after a move like queen e4, you can just take the bishop. So now white is actually the one up material. So here you cannot take the pawn, but okay, you know, you can still take the knight, and you know, maybe report just didn't really like this position here after the move c5, because everything is falling apart on the queen side. The bishop is bad, and you know, here if you even try like a move like b5, just h3, and you're gonna slowly suffocate. So he plays rook d2 e3, and you know, basically now Jan can still not take this because of rook f1, but Jan has another move here. He has simply knight takes on e4, and now after pawn takes, just queen f2. And how exactly are you stopping this queen? Because okay, you could do this, but now queen f3, and in the game h3 is played to prevent h3, and the thing is, I mean, you can prevent h3, but it's only for the moment. Okay, Rapport tries to come back with these pieces, but Jan just keeps on putting more pressure. Now he attacks the queen. Here maybe maybe the rooks could have been played, but it doesn't really make a difference. Still, queen f3 check would have won the pawn. So right, you have to do this. Here you attack the rook, and now you play this. This actually much better. And now after the pawn is attacked, now you defend with the bishop, but simply now bishop f6, and you know, you're threatening a pawn and an infiltration with the bishop. So here Rapport decides to go pawn grabbing. That was not the right idea here. A move like rook f2 would have been better, but at this point he's down to 3 minutes, and he's got to make his final move before time control, and he just says, I don't know, kind of like, screw this, I'm taking a pawn, and that's it. If Jan beats me, he finishes me off. And I mean, Jan finished the game with 2 hours. Like now it's just unstoppable, right? The threat is just queen f3 check, and if you try to prevent that, okay, good luck. h2. Okay, you take the pawn, okay, you lose this, and if you take the pawn like that, you're getting mated. So there's no point in trying. And if you just do a stupid move, then this is now just winning. h2, and you're winning. So I mean, yeah, here instead of taking the pawn, maybe Rapport could have tried to hold this with maybe a move like rook f2, but it's still very hard. Bishop c3, right? The bishop is infiltrating, and if you double up rooks, then again you're slowly getting suffocated here. A move like bishop e5, for example, bishop e5, for example, still putting a lot of pressure on the king, and maybe Rapport just wanted to let it be over with the game. So NEPO wins a very nice game. NEPO wins a very nice game, but it all seems effortless, and I've heard commentators say this again and again. NEPO's wins just feel effortless, like as if he doesn't even care. Look at the time difference on the clock here. Look at the time difference. It took Rapport like 3 minutes to find this move, right? And he was down to 4 minutes. NEPO was up on the clock. He was up 1 hour on the clock. Like, this is, I mean, you know, it's usually not normal for the candidates for this to happen, but NEPO is just in top form. So we'll see if Magnus plays him, but I mean, I'm starting to believe that my favorite Caruana is not gonna win this, but I still hope so. And let's take a last look at his game here pretty quickly. The position is still kind of like the same. Rajabov still thinking. So you know, on that note, I'll end the video, and I'll see you with more candidates action. Kowalski out.